translated books in Chinese, Sanskrit, and Malayalam to English. He was awarded Comrade to Poetry China in 2016 for his active involvement in Chinese poetry translation. Our speaker, Dr. Manu Mangattu, is currently engaged in designing a Swayam UGC CEC funded MOOC course worth 15 lakhs. Further, as a tribute to literature, he has also offer online training, free online training and mentoring to UGC net aspirants all over the world. He is also guiding research scholars across the globe in their academic and research projects. On behalf of the Department of English Self Support, we invite you to the webinar, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, my dear friends, colleagues, the wonderful teachers from the Department of English, Self-Financing Faculty, Department of English, my beloved students from the whole college. I guess there are students from different departments here. So I'm very happy to once again be with you, be with this college, its teachers and its students, and it's a real privilege to be connected with you, to be talking to you, and I'm really surprised that you welcomed me again. I got a second invitation to speak, and which is really a privilege, and I'm really thankful to the management of the college, to the principal, the staff, especially the self-financing Department of English. And thank you, my dear students, for turning up, because you are having a lot of online events these days, and another online event is always, can be tough. So thank you for turning up. Let's hope that we will have a smooth session ahead. First of all, I would like to thank, there was Nightingale, and I was very happy that the Department of English has a Nightingale to welcome and invite everyone to the program. And we have, I was happy to hear that the event is, or the department activity, whatever it is known as Fantasia. So we will have some fantastic events ahead. So on that note, let me begin. Our lecture, as you know, our lecture or our webinar or our session is titled Future Perfect, English for Employability. I'm sure that you understand what this lecture is about. English for Employability, that explains what this lecture tries to do. And the first part, Future Perfect. All of us know that future can never be perfect. It's always, maybe we say in English we have a tense, future perfect tense. Maybe only in grammar we have future perfect. Otherwise, future is always imperfect. Even the present is imperfect. Even the past is imperfect. But we are trying to make our future perfect, and our endeavors, our enterprises, whatever we do are always geared towards making our future a perfect one. In our best possible way. So, and English, career, job, all these come together if we are going to have a good future. And still we cannot guarantee, because life is a game of dice, right? You never know what will happen in life, and Corona taught us that nothing is guaranteed. Anything can happen. The schools and colleges can remain closed for a year. So anything can happen. Still, let's look at how this present situation is, how this roll of dice plays out. When I speak about this roll of dice, I would like to invite your attention to a game that everybody plays. I guess this game was invented in India or maybe in Nepal. I'm not sure. This game, the snake and ladder game. Now, how do we play the snake and ladder game? Life is like a snake and ladder game, right? You throw the dice, you throw it up, and it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, and you move up the ladder, up the columns in the game. And then what happens? Either a ladder or a snake would be waiting for you. If it is a snake, finished. You have to go further down, down, down. Maybe from 99 to you have to go to 1, right? And if it is a ladder can take you from 22 to 60, 66 or 34 to 55. There are ladders. Now, we are talking about something, the English language and proficiency or the skill in English language, which can be either a snake or a ladder in the game of life. In the game of life, English language is both the snake and the ladder. And if I may say, this lecture or our today's program is about the art of converting the snake into a ladder. For many of us, English language may be a snake that is waiting to bite us, waiting to coil around us and finish us off. Why? Because English, we are good with our subject. We may be good at chemistry. We may be good at commerce. We may be good at mathematics. We are good at our subjects. But then comes the interview, comes the group discussion, and there, what you are asked to do, you have asked to communicate your knowledge in English. And then you are in the mouth of the snake, right? And if you are good at English, it's a ladder. So let's try to make it a ladder, an ultimate ladder that will always take you forward, not backwards in your life. So it's about converting the snake into a ladder. Now, let me ask you, what is so special about English? Is there something special about the English language? Is it the best language in the world? What about Tamil? What about Telugu? What about Hindi? What about German? What about the other languages? Are those languages not good? Or is there something special about English language which makes it, admirable or lovable? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. And there cannot be anything that recommends a language and demotes another language. All languages should be equal. English is as good or as bad as Tamil or Telugu. It is the same. It's just that the circumstances say that circumstances dictate things. And in the present socio-political, economic, whatever situation that is prevalent in our world, in this 21st century world, fortunately or unfortunately, English has a special role. That's all. It's not like English is anything special. But for our career, for our life, for our future, we need this English language. Now, there is a kind of joke that students say. The Britishers ruled India for 150 years. They ruled us and they ruined us. They tormented us. They tortured us. And since 1947, we, the Indians, have been taking revenge on the British, on the English, by destroying their language. We are using English language in such a way that even an Englishman cannot understand what we are speaking. And Indian English grammar is something that the Britishers are terrified of. They are afraid of because it is unbelievably supreme. And we cannot say our English is bad. I don't say our English is bad. We have our own ways of speaking English. We have our own accents. We have our own spellings. We make our own spellings during the exam. We make our own grammar during the exam. And definitely, our teachers understand whatever we are writing, right? Even if it looks remotely like English, or just that you are using the letters of English, even then our teachers understand what we are talking and what we are speaking. Unfortunately, the outside world doesn't seem to understand our version of English. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, yeah, we have an Indian version of English, and it is not like we should try to speak English as the Britishers do. We should try to speak an English that is intelligible. The other person should be able to understand our English. And for career purposes, for job-related purposes, it is imperative that we have a language that is presentable, that is more or less correct, and that is able to, do the purpose. That's the most important thing. It should communicate. It should do the purpose. So there is nothing inherent in the English language that recommends it over the other languages. It is just the what I would like to call the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times that has decided that English is the lingua franca, the link language, the global language. I'm not going to tell you about that because you have heard it over and over again and again, that English is the link language, language of commerce, language of this, that, and because of that, we have to study English. I mean, I know that there is nothing very new to say about this topic, but let us try to look at it from a very practical point of view rather than doing any theory. And we will not have any PowerPoint. I hope that we will have at least a few points, if not power. And so what I will be doing is I will be looking at the present situation where we or you as students are encountering, your second year or first year or third year students. So in a couple of years, you will be facing a placement interview. Right, there will be companies coming to your college, and I checked your college website and I found that you have a placement cell, and so many people have got jobs through campus interviews, which is very good. And so let us look at that reality for a brief while, and then let us look at what we can do after graduation. Beyond that, we will be looking at the problems that we face in our communication in English, and what are the solutions, or what could be the solutions for these problems. That's all that we will be doing in today's lecture. So let's think about a campus placement, campus interview event that is going to take place in your college. I'm just speaking about these things based on my own experiences as a recruiting expert or as an interviewer, especially in campus placement. So various companies will ask us to come as an interviewer or a recruiting expert to conduct these events or to help them with group discussions or help them with interviews. And I'm just speaking based on my own experiences. So as you know, when a campus placement drive happens, there are so many students, and the companies are looking to, shortlist, bring down the numbers. So the best thing that most companies would do is first to have a group discussion. And what can a group discussion do? They will divide, say there are 500 students participating in the recruitment drive. They will divide the 500 people into, say, 10 groups of 50 people each, or 20 groups of 25 people each. And each group, they will be given a topic, and you will be asked to have a group discussion. So a topic is given to you, like, say, sensationalization in media. You're given a topic like that, or the problem facing the youngsters in our country. Some simple topic or something like that is given, and you are asked to do a discussion on that topic. And there comes the problem. Now our heart starts pumping, because this is the moment. This is the time when we have to make or break, perform or perish, do or die, because everybody says that if you don't get placed, then you are going to have a lot of troubles in life. So it's the thing. And then blood starts pumping, there is palpitation, there is fear, we face reluctance to speak. Of course we have to speak in English. Maybe some of us will feel shy. How can I speak? Oh, I'm comfortable speaking in my Tamil, but how can I speak in English? It sounds so sluggish. It sounds so un-Indian-like. How can I speak in English? Oh my goodness, it's very difficult. Oh, I cannot do. How can I speak in English? I am feeling, that kind of a feeling. And then inhibition. We are pulled down by some inhibition. We have that feeling, oh, I can't speak. What will others think? Everyone will be looking at me, and what will happen? And then we have this fear of failure. What if I start saying something and I'm unable to complete my sentence? What if I say something and what if it is wrong? What if it is grammatically wrong? We are conditioned in such a way that we are afraid of grammar mistakes. We are afraid of mistakes that we make while speaking English. While we speak our mother tongue, whether it is Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu, whatever it is, we make a lot of grammar mistakes, but we are never bothered about that. But while speaking English, we are only concerned, we are only worried about making mistakes. And so we would rather not speak than speak, because we don't want to make mistakes. Oh my goodness, we are such perfect people. We don't want to make mistakes. That is why we will not speak. We will keep our mouths tightly shut. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, lack of fluency. You start speaking something, and then in the middle, you are not getting the right word. Oh my God, what can I say? How can I complete this sentence? I'm not getting the right word, insufficient vocabulary. And then, say you are given a topic, sensationalization in media. Oh my goodness, I'm very good at English, or I don't have any fear. I have good fluency, but I have a problem. I cannot understand what that means. What is the sensationalization of media? What is this sensationalization? Oh, it's very tough. I'm not understanding what this is about. Maybe some of us would, what would we would do is we would wait for others to speak and see what they are saying, and maybe try to make out what this topic is about. Again, this lack of vocabulary, inability to comprehend the topic, sometimes the inability to understand the instructions given by the organizers. Those people, those facilitators who will be there at the group discussion, they will be giving a certain instructions. This is how you have to do this. This is what you shouldn't do. This is what you should do. There will be certain instructions. What if we are unable to follow their accent? What if we don't understand what they are trying to say? We will miss the point. We may end up doing something that they expressly said we shouldn't do. So these kinds of problems, and maybe we are unable to understand the arguments made by others. So we are unable to counter or support the arguments. And what happens at the end of the group discussion? Few people, 5 or 6 or 7 people who did well in the group discussion will be selected. So suppose we had 20 groups of 25 people each. What happens? From this 500 people, 25 into 5, 125 people are selected, and the remaining 375 people are said, thank you for coming, have a tea or have a coffee, have a chocolate, and thank you for coming, go home. Thank you. The event is over for you, right? So the group discussion, that is the first snake, which can be a ladder as well. So think about the 125 people who are left. Next, most probably they will have, if there are only 25 people, they will straight away take these 25 people to the interview. Otherwise, there will be a written test. Most often, these campus recruitment people, they will have a written test. And again, this snake is there. We somehow managed the group discussion. Now it is about writing it out. And what are the questions about? Around 25 to 40% of the questions, 40% of the marks in the written test will be testing your English skills, reading comprehension, grammar, vocabulary, tenses, error correction, idioms, phrases, antonyms, synonyms. Oh my goodness, lot of things. And you have to struggle through all these questions. And then, there will be some 25 marks questions on the subject. Suppose you are from chemistry, you will have 25 marks questions from chemistry, or you are from English. Again, if you are a student of English, you are again into English, from English to English. And so that is the written examination. And at the end of the written examination, they will say, thank you. Our OMR sheets they will collect, and they will say that within 15 minutes, we will announce the results. And at the end, they will say, okay, 25 people have scored this much marks, the cutoff marks, and they are selected for the interview. Okay. So the remaining 100 people, they can have the tea and go home. The remaining 25 are left there. And the third snake is waiting us, the interview. We may have managed the group discussion with whatever little English we knew. Yeah, we had some courage, we had some fluency. Though we made mistakes, we managed. We got through the interview, because we got through the group discussion because we were confident or something. But here you are going to speak one-on-one with a person who is going to be an expert in English, or at least somebody who is very proficient in English. And it is an interview that you will be really put to task. Your language skills, along with your knowledge, will be analyzed threadbare. And that is the last step, most probably. So many students don't know how to answer to the point at the time of the interview, and they even fail to phrase a simple sentence correctly, or even sometimes there will be things like writing a report or something in the examination, in the written examination. We fail to do that. It becomes a handicap for the candidates who have very good knowledge otherwise in their subject. In their subjects, they may be the best student in the college, but that best will not help you if you don't have the English language to communicate whatever you know. That is very important. Communicating what you know. Your head, your cranium may be full of knowledge, full of wisdom, but if you do not have the English to communicate, to present your knowledge to the listener, then we fail. Then we fail. And most interviewers, even there is something called a CV. You have to submit a CV, and they will go through the CV. Even before the interview, they will go through the CV and see, okay, there are many spelling mistakes in the CV, or there are, punctuation errors. There are this, it's not ordered. Something, language related problems in your CV, and they will immediately realize that whatever you are going to do in the interview, your CV is poor. There are a lot of mistakes, which will, create problems for us in the interview and in our subsequent selection, if at all we are selected. So that is important. And most interviewers would, irrespective of your excellence in your subject area, would not choose you if you don't have the language skills to communicate your knowledge. So the third snake that is waiting for you in this process. So I'm sorry. So these are certain things that we encounter in reality in a campus recruitment drive, in a campus recruitment program. And then look at this situation. You complete your degree, and you become a graduate or a postgraduate, or even you become a PhD holder, and then you are not getting any job. So what happens? You will go and write PSC exams, other competitive exams, or maybe boys would go for catering, for work in the petrol pump as an Amazon delivery boy, driving cabs, so many other things. I am not saying that these jobs are inferior. Absolutely not. All jobs are equally dignified, equally good. No question about that. But my point is, yeah, definitely every job has a dignity of its own, no question. But I would definitely salute those people who would, irrespective of an engineering degree or even a doctorate, work in a petrol pump. Credit to them. A salute, big salute to their enterprise and dedication and their readiness to do anything. That's unbelievable. But again, our point is, we go to a college, we undergo rigorous training for 3-4 years degree course, gain knowledge and expertise in the subject we have chosen: chemistry, English, mathematics, zoology, botany, commerce, physics. And then we end up doing a job and having a career in a field where we have neither expertise nor training nor sufficient qualification. That is the difficult thing. So we should be getting a job, or we should be working in a field where we have the expertise, we have the necessary qualification. Otherwise, it can really make things tough for you, because my knowledge is in physics, and if I am asked to teach computer in a school, yeah, I may be able to manage with whatever little knowledge of computer I have. I may be able to manage, but my core competence is in physics. And as a graduate or a postgraduate in physics, I can see and understand things from the angle of a scientist, from the angle of somebody who is well versed in physics. And what have I got to do with a computer? What have I got to do with teaching a computer language, or even basic computer things to a student? Yeah, we can do that. It's not like we cannot. But the problem is, Is it the right place for us? So it's very important that we land in the right area. At the end of the roll of the dice, we should land where there is a ladder, or at least where there is no snake. Right, we need that. We need that at the end of the roll of the dice. And it's not like it's completely a dice where everything is based on luck. A lot of things depend on your hard work. A lot of things depend on our effort. So it's very important that we end up in a field, in a discipline, in a career that is best suited for our expertise, that is best suited for the qualification that we have garnered over the years. So this is the idea. And candidates are expected to voice their ideas in English without any ambiguity, without any fear. And that is why English communication skill is one of the most important employability requirements all over the world. The ability to communicate well in English. Well, what are the reasons? What are the problems that we encounter? Or what could be the reason why we are unable to, master this English language? There could be so many reasons, and I'm not going to go in depth about the reasons for it. Just for a basic understanding, and maybe to try to rectify those things. Let's just quickly run through some of the reasons why we are unable to do well in communicating in English. Yeah, we can speak about mother tongue influence. English is a second language. We are not comfortable. But essentially, there are some other things as well. There is fear. There is inhibition. Oh, I can't. I'm not that sort of a person. No, I will not speak in English. If it is Telugu, or if it is Malayalam, or if it is Tamil, I'm going to fare excellently well. Oh, but no English. Please, no English. No, I cannot. Lack of exposure. Again, that is important. We live in a society where we get very little opportunity to speak, to communicate in English. But so exposure is very important. Only through exposure, only through being with people who speak English, only through communicating in English can we overcome this fear and inhibition and shyness in speaking a foreign language. So this lack of communication skills is identified as one of the primary problems that our students face in landing a good job, in finding a good job. And then what happens in our colleges? Sometimes there are large classes with so many students, so that the teachers are unable to give individual attention to each student. We cannot always blame the teachers, right? If it is a big class with 60, 70 students, well, disciplining them is the biggest crisis for the teachers, let alone teaching them. So there are problems with having large classes, and then there will be students with different proficiency levels. Some of the students we know, right? This is something that happens in all our classrooms. Some students are good at English. They may have studied in English medium schools, or they may not have, but they have that skill. They can communicate well in English. Some students are gifted. Some students are not. There is nothing wrong with not good in English. It's not a sin. It's not a mistake or anything. But it is something that we should always strive to work on. So large classes, different proficiency levels of students, and it becomes really difficult for the teachers to pay individual attention and focus on the language deficiency that a particular student faces. And then there is this heavy syllabus. We cannot blame the system for it, but because we have to study. But then completing the syllabus becomes the first priority, and then we cannot focus on our communication skills. Instead, it is about completing the chapters. We have so many poems to study, we have so many stories or one novel, we have to study all these things. So even the English teacher is unable to pay any attention to improving your language, because what happens, it is like this. In the schools, we are given a lot of marks, unfortunately. For English, we are given a lot of marks, because earlier there was a time when students weren't given marks at all for English. So nowadays, to compensate for that, we are given a lot of marks. But are we that good in English? Maybe not. And and then they will say, at school, the impression is like you go to a college and it is there that you will gain mastery over the English language. And when you come to a college, the belief is that you have already attained mastery over the English language, so that it is not the language but the literature or the other aspects of your language that needs to be looked at or worked on. So we neither from the school nor from the college we get what we require, the right training to actually improve our communication skill. This, that's the way it is. And if the student is not motivated, if the student is not interested, it's very difficult for any teacher to force a student into studying English. It's very difficult. But if a student is motivated, think about it. You have your visa, everything is ready, and you are going to UK next month, and you want to study English. So the only criteria is you have to study English. You should be able to communicate well in English, and then you can go next month to the UK. That student will study English in 2 weeks. That student will study English in 2 weeks. But a student who has no motivation or no purpose, because we don't see anything happening. And so we study English right through the schools, 10 years. Then we study English during our +1, class 11, class 12 years. Then our degree, 15 years. And still we don't study this English. And this same English you can study if you have the motivation in 15 days also. So these things are there, motivation, all these factors are there. And then there is always this pressure on teachers, on students to produce a high, good result, to produce high pass percentage. And so the focus naturally shifts on passing the examination or scoring good in the other subjects as well. And then what happens, the focus slightly changes from what is actually required. And unfortunately, very unfortunately, our education system is one where a lot of importance is attached to your writing skill alone. Most of our exams are written exams. So if you are able to by heart things and reproduce them, you will do well in your exams. It's a given. Whatever happens, if your presentation skills are poor, if your speaking skills are poor, it doesn't matter. If you have ability to by heart things and reproduce them in the examination, you do well in the examination. It's unfortunate because the other aspects of our, of our growth, of our evolution are forgotten. For what? For improving our written skills. Yeah, our written skills, writing skills get a lot of attention, but that is not the whole thing. And that's what happens is English ends up being treated as just another subject of study. Even I know colleges, I know schools and colleges where they say that, no, not for English. You don't spend so much time for English. It is important to focus on the STEM subjects, science, technology, mathematics, physics, chemistry. Those are the subjects that you should focus on. English is, it's trash. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your other subjects. Of course, no question that the other subjects are very important. No doubt about it. But the thing is, if you ask me which are the most important employability skills today, I will say there are two things which will make you, suitable to get a job. One is not English. The first one is computer literacy. And the second one is English literacy, proficiency in English. These two skills are a must. In today's world, it is very difficult if you don't have, if you don't have computer skills or if you don't have proficiency in English, it is very difficult to land a job in today's world. This is the bleak, black reality. Accept it. We have to get this mastery over the English language, and we should have good computer literacy as well. It's a skill that you are expected to have. It's not like it's an additional skill or it's an advantage. No, there was a time when computer knowledge and English proficiency were considered an added advantage, but now it's a given. And if you don't have it, you are not going to have the job. So that is the reality. So what are we going to do after our degree program? Yeah, maybe you are in first year degree or second year degree. Maybe you think that it is not the right time for me to actually worry about it. Don't worry. Please don't worry, my dear friends. We have so many other things to worry, right? So let us not worry about it, but let's be aware. Let's be informed about what we are going to encounter and how we can tackle these problems that we are likely to encounter. So what after degree, what to do after graduation? The obvious choice would be to get an admission for higher studies, right? To get an admission for higher studies, you are doing a degree, you want to do a PG, or you want to do some other course, whatever it is, higher studies. That is the first option in many people's mind. And then what will you do? You will explore the different Indian and foreign universities for higher education, for specialization. And there you will need your language. Why? Because you are expected to prepare a proposal. They will ask you, if it is a foreign university, definitely they will ask you to submit an SOP, statement of purpose. Why do you want to get a scholarship, or why do you want to do graduation in this university? Suppose you are applying to Harvard University, you are applying to Oxford, you are applying to any foreign university. They will say that you should prepare a proposal and an SOP, statement of purpose. And it largely depends on your language skill. Let me tell you, whatever you say, the ideas sometimes may not matter as much as your language, because if you don't have a foolproof language, your SOP is going to be rejected. At least when it comes to the Western countries, if your language is poor, or if your language is not perfect, there is a chance that your SOP will be rejected, your application will be rejected. So we need the English language for getting an admission, and we need the English language to also ensure that we are not trapped. Why? There are so many fake universities, there are so many fake agencies that will tell you that you just pay us this much money and we will do everything. So many fake agencies and universities are there. This is the reality. And if you are unable to read and go through the internet and study and make your own assumptions and investigations into what this thing is all about, what can happen is you may end up trapped, you may end up cheated, you may lose your money, or you may even end up in a country where there is no university in that name. So all these things can happen. So it is very important to stay clear of being trapped as well, that you know your English. And then you know about the tests. You have to complete do a test. Either it can be IELTS or TOEFL or PTE or SAT or GRE, different tests. IELTS examination is usually, you have to clear this examination if you are to go to Australia or UK or New Zealand. And these days, even the United States of America is accepting people who have cleared IELTS. And there are bands 7, 8, 9. You have to get at least above 7 to clear and go to these countries, IELTS. And what is it? The entire IELTS examination is about checking your English language skills. Then there is another test. For USA and Canada especially, there is this test called TOEFL, TOEFL, Teacher of English as a Foreign Language. So there again, it's your language alone that is tested. And if you clear the exam, you will get the visa. I mean, if everything else is fine, you need to clear this examination to go. And PTE, Pearson Test of English, certain countries recommend that test. And SAT, Scholastic Assessment Test, and GRE, Graduate Record Examinations. So these different tests. My dear friends, let me just remind you one thing, something that many people forget. Most of these tests have a validity of just 2 years. That is, Suppose you complete the test and you clear the examination in March 2021, it will have validity only under March 2023. And if you don't make use of it before that, what will happen? It will get elapsed. So first years and second years, always remember, don't write the examination now. Preferably prepare for it, while you are studying your degree course and other subjects. Have this in your mind. If you plan to go abroad, definitely, if you want to study abroad, it's good. Also, it's good to have that exposure. So if you have such an ambition, you have to always keep this in mind. Prepare for it now and think about writing the examination around the time you are going to complete your degree. By your third year, by the second half of your third year degree course, you can think about writing the examination, because then you will have another 2 years validity for that test, and it can take time for everything to be all right. So this is the first thing. And suppose we are not going abroad, we completed our degree, we completed our graduation, and we want a job. We want a job. We want to be independent, or the financial situation at home is not good, or it is very good. Whatever it is, we don't want to study. I am done with studies. I don't want to study anymore. So what will we do? We will be looking for a job. Getting shortlisted for a job is the next thing. And then what happens? One obvious choice is the campus recruitment. We discussed about it, the interviews, the GDs, group discussions, and shortlisting, all these things. So getting shortlisted for a job. And if it is campus recruitment, it is a lot easier. Otherwise, you have to apply and you have to wait and this and that, and the chances come down. So it's very important that you make a strong case for yourself in the campus recruitment itself. If not, don't worry. If you fail to qualify, don't worry, because there will come opportunities. But try to put your best foot forward in the campus recruitment itself. And then what else? Getting a job. Getting a job, the actual part of getting a job. That could be one thing that happens to you. So what can happen? English is an integral part of all competitive exams everywhere in the world. English is an integral. It is unavoidable. It is a part of all competitive exams. We can write UPSC, PSC examinations, whatever exams you are writing, clerical exams, whatever exams you are writing, English skills are very important. So to land a job, to get a job, to find a job for yourself, English is very important. And all these tests would most often check all your language skills. I know your teachers have told you about the 4 language skills, LSRW, we call it, right? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All 4 skills we need to excel. We need to excel in all these skills if we are to, get a job. So at least a minimum, proficiency in each of these skills is important. And we think that getting a job is the end, and then I can just sit back and relax. Absolutely not. People who have got a job, people who have secured a job will know very well that that is the beginning of the struggle. That is the beginning of a struggle. Why? Then there is this big thing, keeping your job. Certain jobs are forever, we think, but that is not going to happen, my dear friends, after this corona and lockdown and in this new normal. No jobs are going to be forever. Maybe your teachers are the last generation where they will have jobs for 25 or 30 years, but we are not going to have it. Let me assure you, no job is going to be forever. You are not going to have a job and relax and then wait until you are 55 or 60 to retire. No. Keeping your job will also include moving from one job to another. Always updating yourself, improving yourself. And in your job, it is very important that you should be able to maintain a healthy balance between life and work. English skills are important. Why? If you don't have these English skills, the workload on you is going to be very high. And the time that you will have at home with your family, with your children, is going to come down, because you will have to spend a lot more time, say, writing a report or writing an email, whatever. These are part of our jobs, any job. These things are part of any job. You have to write letters, compose emails, You may have to address gatherings, you may have to talk to your authorities, you may have to talk to your subordinates, you have to solve problems, you should have skills of negotiating with people, bargaining with people, you should have skills of convincing people, persuading people, apologizing, making friends. In all this, we need the language skills, right? So communication skills are important. There is no question about that. And English communication skills, I mean, researches and studies show that they augment the hourly wage that a person gets by as much as 30 to 40%. So suppose you are getting 10,000 or 15,000 salary. If your skills, if you have good communication skills, you are very likely to get a salary hike to 20,000. That's the idea. So communication skills make you an asset to your institution, because there are people with communication skills, but people with perfect English is still a rarity. It is still a rarity. There are very few people who are 100% foolproof in their English, right? So it is very important that we acquire that proficiency. And then maybe after your degree, you are thinking, no, I'm not that sort of a person. I'm not going to apply for a job here and there. I will have my own startup. I will create jobs and I will give jobs. I will give wings to my dreams. I have ideas. I'm innovative. So you want to follow your passions and dreams, and you want to take the road that has not yet been taken by anyone else. Very good. Very good. But again, you will need English. I'm not going further into that. And sometimes we have to create an online presence to get a job, to keep a job. For all these things, we need to create an online presence. What is creating an online presence? We need to become visible on the internet. We have to carve a niche, carve a place, a place for ourselves in the community that we live in. So it can involve the social networking sites. It can involve things like blogging, vlogging, or many of us, I'm sure, many of us started a YouTube channel during this lockdown period and during the Corona break. Many of us started a YouTube channel. And then we realized that English was very important. And if we had, some of us thought, had I this ability to communicate in English, yeah, you may be good at Tamil, but your channel is going to be viewed only by Tamilians. If you are good at English, your channel will be viewed not only by people in your locality, not only by people in your country, but people all over the world. It's a big difference. And think about those minor things. All these things matter. And we are human beings, and we want to be of use to the society and the community that we live in. And creating an online presence is also about being of some use to your society, to be of some use to your family, friends, everything. So it is again important that we know some we have some good proficiency in our English, because without that we cannot do these things. And so let us assume that we have a job, either it is a startup or it is a job in a company, or you are teaching somewhere. All the time you will be asked to raise the bar. You have to go up, up, up. You cannot just relax. You have to go up. It is not about having and resting, but about being and becoming. So always raise the bar. Always, we need to command the respect of our peers, our subordinates, our authorities. A person with good skills, communication skills, always have a better chance. And that person has a better chance to, make good relationships. People understand you better, or at least people won't misunderstand you. It's also important that people don't misunderstand you. So getting the confidence of your authorities, improving and challenging yourself, molding your life, career, family, everywhere you will require this English skills, no doubt about that. So what is the problem, my dear friends? Is it unemployment? I'm asking you, is it unemployment that we face as a country, or is it unemployment that the youth of our country face? I don't think so. I think the problem is unemployability. It is not unemployment. It is not the absence of jobs, but it is unemployability that is creating problems in our lives. And what is unemployability? We are not employable. We don't have the skills, we don't have the tools required for someone to employ us. That is the saddest thing. So most people have face not unemployment but unemployability. Yes, there is unemployment, there is no question about that. Yeah, there aren't sufficient jobs to feed all the people in our country. We have a lot of people and we have a lot of graduates, so it's not easy. But then most people are, it's not about unemployment, it is about unemployability. And I don't see a reason why a graduate who has good communication skills cannot get a job. Any good any graduate with good English skills, let it be any subject, I can guarantee you that you will get a job if you have good communication skills. It may not be a very high profile job, but some good job you will be getting. So it is important for us to be employable. I will try to tell you about four types of skills which makes up, four types of skills which make a person employable. That is, in other words, to be employable or to be qualified to get a job, you need sufficient competence, sufficient skill in four aspects. The first one is core academic skills. What are these core academic skills? The traditional things that you learn through an academic system. Say the ability to read and write. I would put it like this: the ability to read and understand, the ability to write and be understood. These are the skills. And again, there are other skills as well. The numerical skills, the ability to add, to subtract, the logical skills, the ability to argue, to make sense of things. These are the core academic skills. The first one, it is very important that you have these core academic skills if you want to be employable. First one. Then the second one is occupational skills. That is self-explanatory. The technical skills, the practical skills that you require to do a job. For example, a computer programmer should know how to code, should know coding. A mechanic should know how to repair something. A designer should know how to design something. So the occupational skills are very important. Again, that is the second one. The third one is the personal and the social skill. The personal skill and the social skill. That is, it is about how to communicate and interact with others and how to manage your life and work. Okay. So I have spoken about three skills. One, the core academic skills. Two, the occupational skills. And third one, the personal, the soft skills, the social skills that you require. The 21st century skills, some people call it. So these three skills together are known as productivity skills or productive skills. That is, the skills, the knowledge, and the attributes that make you productive in your job environment. These are the productive skills or productivity skills. And then I have told you there are four skills I want to discuss with you. So which is the fourth one? The fourth one is, I would term it the career and transition skills. The skills that enable us to build our career and make progress in our employment. That is the fourth skill. So it is not just about getting a job, but keeping a job, growing in your job, commanding the respect of people. All these things will come under the fourth one. And you understand that English language is an integral part of these four skills. All these skills, whether it is the core academic skills, whether it is the occupational skills, whether it is the personal soft skills, whether it would be the career skills and the transition skills, in all these skills you would require English. In other words, I would say English is the knockout factor. It is going to make or break. It is the knockout factor in being employable. So you will be employable only if you have good English communication skills. Now, language is a necessary condition, but not a sufficient condition for employability. Always remember this. Language is a necessary condition, but not a sufficient condition for employability. What am I saying? The idea is this: just because I know English, I may not get a job, but I am far more likely to get a job if I have good proficiency in the English language. This is the idea. Just because I know English, I may not get a job, but if I have good proficiency in English language, I have huge chance. I have a huge chance. I have greater chance. It is far more likely that I will get a good job. So this is about the English language and our skills and how it is important in being employable. Again, there are productive skills and receptive skills. I'm asking you a question. What should I ask you? Do you enjoy this lecture? Do you enjoy this lecture? Now, I'm asking this question. Suppose this is a real class and I'm asking at a person. I'm asking Parvati or Shilpa or Lakshmi. Do you enjoy this lecture? So what does this Lakshmi do? First, she receives my message. My question: do you enjoy this lecture? And it is most likely that what she will first do is she will do code switching. She will translate it into her mother tongue. She will translate, do you enjoy this lecture, into her mother tongue. Maybe it's Tamil. So she will translate it into Tamil. And then what will she do? She will process it. Okay, do I enjoy this lecture? Yeah, I don't enjoy this lecture. Yes, this is very boring. But if I say I don't enjoy this lecture, maybe this fellow is going to complain to the principal, and somebody has raised a hand. So somebody has left the meeting as well. So whatever it is, what I'm trying to say is you are processing. So you should, maybe your first instinct is to say, no, sir, I don't enjoy at all. But then, oh my God, my teachers are there. What will they say? Oh, I shouldn't say no. So I will say, yeah. So you have processed it in Tamil and then you will translate it into English. Because if you say in Tamil, I may not understand. So, or the platform is in English. So you have to put it in English. So what will you do? You translate it back to English, the answer. You will formulate the answer in Tamil and process it and then translate it back into English. And then you will produce the answer. How? You will either type it or you will say, yes, sir, this is a beautiful lecture. This is the best lecture I have ever attended. This lecture is going to change my life. And in our minds, we will say that, yeah, it's going to change my life forever. My life is ruined. I have never had such a terrible lecture. Whatever it is, this is what happens with productive, receptive skills and productive skills. But what I would require or what I would suggest you, and here I am coming to the solution. We discussed the problems and I'm coming to the last part of this lecture, and I would give you some practical solutions as to how we can improve our fluency and communication skills, the solution. And it is here that I want to simplify this process. So I asked a question. Now, what you did was you first translated the question into Tamil, then you processed it in Tamil, then you translated it from Tamil to English and then produced. Let's make it simple. Let's just receive and produce. Receive, process, produce. So if we can get rid of this translation part, it will be huge. It will save a lot of time. It will help us a big deal, right? A lot of processing will be saved. That is, in other words, I am telling you, there are 5 language skills. Usually we are taught that there are 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. I would add one more skill to it. Don't take it literally. It is not like I'm an authority and I'm saying something forever. No, it's just for your understanding. I'm telling you, there is a 5th language skill, and that is thinking. That is thinking. I want you to think in English. No, it's not easy. It's not easy to think in English. Whatever happens, we think that we can only think in our mother tongue. But we can do that. We can do that. How? There are different ways to do it. Now, I will take you through the 4 language skills and what are the things that we can do to improve our language skills in each of those particular skills. The first one, listening skill. How can we improve our listening skill? Simple, listen. The best way to improve your skills in English listening is by listening to English. Now, it's about being a little smart. We all listen to a lot of things in our life. Let's try it. Yeah, it's okay that we respect and we love and we have a lot of regard for our mother tongue. That's good. It's very good. It's a great thing. But it's a requirement that we need to know English. And so maybe let's think about it like this. We all listen to the news. We all listen to the news on television. Why not listen to the English news? Just a simple change, right? Just change the channel. Yeah, initially you will find it a little difficult, or you will find it a little boring, not very much good, or your parents will think you have gone mad. It's still fine. So try to listen and listen in English. Listen to the English news. And I'm not saying you should listen to the Americans or the Britishers speaking in English. Listen to the Indians speaking in English. Listen to the Indian news channels, say CNN, IBN, or India Today, or NDTV. Listen to those news channels, and you will get not the British accent, you will not get the American accent, but you will get an Indian accent, which is very good, and I personally believe that it is not necessary for us to speak like a British man or an American. We can speak like Englishmen, right? We can speak English like Indians speak English. And in these channels, so CNN, IBN, or India Today, or Indie TV, you find a beautiful version of Indian English, the way Indian English is spoken. So follow that, listen intently. You get a lot of knowledge listening to the news channels, but also you will pick up pieces of language structures, all these things. I mean, I'm not speaking about vocabulary, you have to write something. No, don't worry about doing so many complicated things. Just listen, and unconsciously it will enter your brain. And if you are interested in cricket, something that has helped me enormously, during my student days, my parents never allowed me to watch cricket on TV. And I had a small pocket transistor pocket radio, and I used to listen to this cricket commentary on this radio. I didn't know any English, and my only way to understand what was happening was to learn English. So I was listening to this commentary on radio. It would be either in Hindi or in English. So I had to learn English to understand who was doing what, and whether Sachin Tendulkar scored a century, what was happening, and that helped. Similarly, I would say, yeah, radio has gone largely out of fashion these days, but we have radios in our mobile phones. I guess most mobiles have this. You can tune into radio channels, and it helps to listen to certain things, whatever you like. I don't say you should listen to this particular thing alone. Whatever you like, listen, but in English. And there are audio books. There are a lot of things. I mean, I'm sure you know more things than I do, because you are more tech savvy people. You are the young generation who know a lot of things. So I don't have to tell you. Second skill, the speaking skill. It's a productive skill. Now, how can we improve our speaking skill? I would tell you, speak to yourself first. Speak to yourself first in English. Speak in your mind in English. It's not easy. It's not easy, but try to speak in English. And yeah, in the beginning, we will think like this. We will think something in Tamil, in our native language, and then we will translate into English. No problem, do it. But try to do it in English in your mind whenever you are free. Suppose when you are traveling alone. Speak to yourself in English. Speak in your mind. You are doing, there is so much time in our lives when we are not doing anything, right? For example, things that we do unconsciously. For example, we may be taking bath, or we may be walking, or we may be doing something, but at the same time, we are not doing anything with our active brain. Our brain is switched off. That is the time when you can speak to yourself in English. Make it a habit. Speak to yourself in English. And something else which is very useful. My students have told me this, sir, this works like magic. So the second thing that you can do with speaking is speak to the mirror. Speak to the mirror. Let me tell you, it is very difficult. speaking to the mirror, that to looking at your own eyes is very difficult. Even if it is in your mother tongue, it is very difficult. So if it is in English, it is going to be very, very, very difficult. But do it. Do it. Just go and stand in front of the mirror and speak out loudly. Speak to the mirror as if you are looking at another person and speaking. Speak on anything you want to speak. Definitely beware that other people in your family will be very worried. They may take you to a doctor. So say that, don't say that I gave you this wonderful idea. Take the treatment. It's natural. So what I'm telling you is, speak to the mirror. It will help you a great deal in building your confidence. Your confidence will definitely improve if you speak to yourself in the mirror, looking at your eyes. Why? See, what happens when we speak in public is we hear our voice and we feel, oh, my voice is not good. Most of us think, I think everybody, I don't know whether it is the case with everyone, I think my voice is very terrible. And I have asked many people and they all say their voices are very terrible. Though I may find somebody's voice very good. I may think that, oh, I wish I had a voice like this person. And that person will be thinking, oh, I wish I had a voice like him. We it's natural for us to think that our voice is not good. So when we hear our voice in public loud, suddenly we get this fear. So to overcome all these fears, it is very good to speak to the mirror. Do it. Speak to the trees. We have heard Abraham Lincoln or George Washington, I don't know who those people were, who spoke to the trees and learned public speaking. So that's a very good thing. And we have a very good thing with us. We have our mobile phones, right? Use it. First, speak to the audio recorder in your mobile phone. Speak to the audio recorder, not the video recorder. Speak to the audio recorder in your mobile phone. I mean, say something for 5 minutes, speak something randomly in English. And then stop speaking, plug in your headphone and listen to what you are saying. Oh, you will feel like crying. Oh my God, what a terrible English I am speaking. My voice is terrible. You will feel a lot of bad things about yourself. Don't worry. Enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again until you are happy that you are speaking English properly. I mean, it doesn't require anyone's help to do that. And you yourself will be able to find problems in your spoken English, right? You may be saying, this is very boring. So you will consciously change that. So it is very good to listen to your own speech in an audio setting. And then once you are through this, once you get through this, you can also use the video recorder. Use the video recorder and speak to it. And then stop speaking, play it. And you will find, oh, my face looks so terrible. When I'm doing this, this is going like this. My hands are going like this. Right. We have so many mannerisms. So we will slowly get used to it. I'm not saying we should change everything. Each of us is a different individual. And we have our own mannerisms, our own ways of doing things. It's fine. But try to improve things which you feel are not good. That's it. Rectify. So you will be able to correct yourself, modify yourself, and perfect yourself in your spoken English without anyone's help. You just need the recorder and the speaker and the thing, and you will be able to improve your spoken English. Third skill, the reading skill. How can you improve your reading skill? Read English. Read whatever you enjoy, but in English. It could be the newspaper, it could be magazines, it could be stories or novels or poetry. Make friends with the library. Spend hours in the library. Read. And that is the best way to improve your reading skills. Understanding. Your understanding will improve when you read more. And finally, the writing skill. This writing is the only skill, I would say, that you would require a lot of help from others. All the other skills we can improve ourselves. Writing is the only skill where you require some assistance from others. You can take assistance from your teachers. Your teachers will be very happy if you take a piece of writing to them and ask them, Miss, Madam, could you please go through this and give your suggestions? They will be First, they will have their mouths very open. Is it my student? Oh my goodness. Am I all right? Right. So do that, right? And give it to your teachers. And if they are not very ready, just pinch them and say, Madam, please, 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 please do it one time, once, twice. So they will do it. They'll be happy. Though they, even if it is overtime, teachers will be happy when students want to improve themselves. So write and take help from your teachers to get it corrected. Get feedback and ask your teachers why something is wrong. It's not just about underlining in red. Tell them, ask them why it is wrong and how can I improve. So fortunately, the other three skills we can learn by ourselves, we can modify, we can perfect ourselves. But writing is the only skill that requires assistance. But the beautiful thing is, though it is a bad thing with our education system, writing is the skill that gets maximum attention. So I think that our system gives a lot of attention to our writing skills. So try to improve that with the help of others, but then definitely use your own skills also. And as I told you, there is the fifth skill, the thinking skill. Start thinking in English, so much so that there will come a time when you will start thinking in English without translating things from your mother tongue into English and vice versa. Forget the translation method, and it should happen unconsciously. It will not happen overnight. It should happen gradually, but then it will happen. So what I'm saying is, focus on these five skills, focus on improving these skills. These four skills you can improve on your own, and writing is one skill that you will require help, but then you have to write, not wait for anyone. Don't wait for anyone to force you to write. You write and then take it to your teachers and ask them to give you the suggestions and feedback. And so let us just wind up, and this is a fast evolving universe. Let's accept it. So whoever still stands still moves backward. There is no way to stand still. The idea of a settled life and settled career is going to be a myth. There's nothing like a settled life hereafter. Corona has changed so many things, and one of them is the idea of a settled life and career. The new normal would require all of us to learn, update, and evolve all the time. And there is no time for having and resting, as I told you. It's about being and becoming, changing and adapting and adopting. The world is witnessing a complete paradigm shift. Instead of specialists that had been the norm for some years now, we are again going to require people having skill sets, different types of skills. Multiple skills and tools are going to be demanded from us. We will need hard skills and soft skills. And we need them side by side. We will need them simultaneously. Hard skills alone won't make you eligible to secure a job. The idea is where everyone is equal when it comes to marks or when it comes to your skills in your subject. The thing that is going to make the difference is your soft skills. And among the soft skills, English communication skills is the king. So always keep in mind, let us try to be a global citizen. It is important that we become a global citizen. It is important that we become a citizen of the world. And for that, we must be able to cross national, cultural, linguistic, regional boundaries. And the snake that can be the ladder is the English language. Use this language, climb the ladder, and be successful in your life. In other words, have a perfect future. Thank you for your wonderful listening. I think it's 4:15 and we have lost a lot of participants, have we? So thank you, whoever is remaining, whoever is not yet asleep, thank you for listening very patiently. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's me again, Nightingale. So it was wonderful listening to your energetic talk all along, sir, and especially the metaphor you used for English language. The snake on the ladder was indeed very good
Thank you.
because we as teachers, especially working in the Department of English, we have seen students struggling to even open up their mouths to talk in English. Not everyone, but a very few. We have seen
Yeah,
people like
yeah.
that, and they would convey things very easily in their mother tongue. And I believe today's session, must have been very much helpful for those particular students to climb up the ladder of proficiency, as you have provided great insights to achieve that ladder of proficiency. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much once again. And now the session is open for students to pose your questions. And Dr. Nagalakshmi, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, she will take over the question and answer session.
Yes, thank you, Nightingale. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful, informative, and motivating speech. We find it very difficult to conclude your speech. One student has posted one question, Nandini. If we are good at writing English without any grammatical error, but why while speaking we have interruptions, mistakes, and grammatical errors, and what can we do to improve this, sir?
Yeah, that is a very prominent question. People who are good with their writing skills may not be very proficient with their speaking skills. That is very true, absolutely true. I mean, many of us face this situation. Nandini, you have posed a very good question. The thing is, most of us, because English is not our mother tongue, we need to process the language. We need to process the language part as well. We cannot just, I may have told you that we can try to think in English, but it takes a lot of time. And until we are able to do that, what we are missing is that slight time. It's a fraction of a second that when you are writing, you will have that extra bit of time to think and rectify your English. For example, suppose let's think about a sentence in simple present tense, singular. He goes to school or something like that. He climbs the ladder, whatever it is. So the problem that we face is while writing, it comes and we are seeing, we are writing. So we get that extra bit of extra fraction of a second, which allows us to think that, okay, this is present in singular, third person. So I have to use and the S form. He climbs the ladder. But when I'm speaking, I will also make the mistake. I'm not an expert in grammar. Let me tell you very honestly. So I also make this mistake. Sometimes I will say that he climbed the ladder. He climbed the ladder. Now it's a mistake. Grammatically, it's a mistake. He climbed the ladder. Why is it? Is it because I don't know? No. I know it is not correct. I know it should be he climbs the ladder. But when I'm speaking, I'm thinking about so many things. I'm thinking about the idea. I'm thinking about how to frame my idea, how to communicate my idea. And so many things are happening and I have to get it out quickly. I have to speak without taking much time. And it is there that, we miss that extra fraction of a second, which allows us to rectify our grammar and things like that. But one thing is sure, if you have a good, foolproof written English, you can definitely improve your spoken English. And it is about practice. It is about gaining that fluency and confidence. And yeah, it takes time. It will not happen overnight. Today you learn something and tomorrow you are not going to produce the perfect English. It's a time consuming process, but yeah, you are degree students. You have time. So use this time to speak, and then improve your spoken English. So achieve that fluency, achieve that confidence in speaking in English, and most importantly, don't fear mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. We are human beings. So whoever says we cannot make mistakes, it's not true, right? We will make mistakes. So let's make mistakes, but remember these 4 golden rules of improving your spoken English. Speak, and speak in English. Then your spoken English will improve. That's it. Thank you, Nandini. Yeah.
Yeah, since your presentation was quite comprehensive, there are not much questions. Shall I ask?
That's a very nice way of saying that. Yeah, thank you.
Shall I ask you one question, sir? Otherwise,
Surely,
you can throw light on this.
surely.
Yeah. Most of our students, they are from rural area, and they have very good potential. They have good core academic skills, but this English becomes like a knockout factor for them. They
Mm.
have the potential to work in Silicon Valley or to in any part of the world. Just because this the English is a knockout factor, as you mentioned, no, they are not able to scale great heights in their life. Okay, so with respect to IELTS examinations, since they follow this common European framework of reference, so whether is it possible to customize to our Indian standards? Is there any policy making at the policy making level, experts like you or resource persons? If you put in more efforts, we can customize so that at Indian level, we can give opportunity for those students who have very good potential and who do not have these language skills without diluting the standard of language also.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
is it possible, sir?
I
Possible
mean,
and feasible?
it is feasible. It would be nice if that happens. But I'm not a policy maker, and I cannot say that I cannot do anything, to change the way people perceive things or the authorities perceive things. But what you said is a very prominent thing. It's true. Our children are very skilled. Let's be very honest about it. I communicate with children from all over the world. I meet students, degree students from all parts of the world, and I can tell you with guarantee that our students, as you said, are the best. They have lot of potential. They have lot of potential. They have, in their subjects, they are supreme. They have extraordinary skills. And when it comes to intellectual skills, when it comes to so many things, our students are very, very, very good. But then, as is, it is this English that is providing this stumbling block. And yeah, I would agree that it would be nice if, for example, in IELTS examination, there is this, our students may do well in writing skills and reading skills, and to an extent, but they face a problem when it comes to speaking, because we don't have the accent. We don't have the accent that they will be happy with. So that is why when it comes to speaking skills for most students, but for some students it is the writing skill. So I think writing skill is something that we have to really work on and improve. But yes, when it comes to speaking skill, I also believe that there should be some measure where things are made a little easier for our students, because we have a different accent, and let's admit it, let's agree that we are different. Our way of pronunciation, our system, our airstream mechanism, our speech articulation system is different, and you cannot pronounce certain letters as the English people do. It's a fact. Certain words that we pronounce, they cannot, right? Some of our words the Englishmen can never pronounce. There was this person, Venkat Raghavan, a Tamilian, Venkat Raghavan, and the Englishmen couldn't pronounce his name, and they just pronounced it Van Cut Caravan. They called him Van Cut Caravan. That is why we have so many English names to our places, because they couldn't pronounce it properly the way we did. So if they cannot say Tamirakam, they will say Tamilakam, something like that. They will say, they cannot say Tamirakam, but we can. Why? Because that is the way our system is programmed. So it's not like I too wish that there was something like that happening, where our pronunciation, there is this thing called GIE and received pronunciation, RP. All these things are there, but when it comes to an examination, as you said, IELTS examination is the best example where we don't have another choice. So our students may fare poorly in this because of that. But instead of thinking about bringing the bar down, let us look at it positively. Let us try to excel, because we have that skill as well. So let us try to excel in that area and do well in that aspect as well. a challenge is always an opportunity. And if there are no challenges, life would be so terrible, life will be so boring. So let us think about it as an opportunity, and we will do well. If so many of us have done well in IELTS examination, there is no reason why we too cannot. Yeah, rural students, we face a lot of challenges. Let's be honest about it. But we have the skills as well. We are second to none. We have the skills. Just try and you will do it. We all can do it, definitely. Thank you.
Yes.
Nagalakshmi ma'am, may I talk? I have something to share.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, sir. First of all, it was nice listening to you. In fact, the things that you spoke about the challenges students face during employability is really so true. And the kind of solutions that you have given to students is really valuable. And I really appreciate you for taking your valuable time for the students, helping them for their employability. And regarding IELTS, as you pointed out, instead of getting IELTS into Indian standard, it is best that we increase our standard to neutral accent. Years before, like 15 years before, it was not easy for us to access through several English speakers, but now it is possible. We can access to any words in fraction of seconds. We can listen to any number of vocabulary through Google. And instead of IELTS, if students feel it was not easy for them, quite challenging for them, they can shift to PTE.
Yeah.
PTE is much more better than IELTS. Once through it is practiced, one can crack PTE much more easier than IELTS. So instead of going for thinking about decreasing the quality of IELTS, let us go and crack it. And it is possible through practice. Once we learn the techniques, how to do it, definitely it is easy, and all the materials are available online. There are several websites that's providing free coaching as well, so we can do it. If
Absolutely,
students are
ma'am.
interested, they can search Google and they can find it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagalakshmi ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am. What you said is spot on. Yeah.
Other faculties, do you have any? Do you want to have any interaction with the guest? You can, because he is so vibrant. Okay, sir. Not only students, we teachers also have a lot of snakes to overcome. So after your presentation, we teachers and along with the students, we can overcome all the snakes, and we can climb on the ladder, and we try to reach the top level. Thank
Ma'am,
you.
ma'am, just a thing. In your name, I see
Yeah.
Nagalakshmi. Yeah. In Indian culture, we love snakes, right? We have snakes. We
Part
worship
of
snakes.
part of my name is Lakshmi,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it can be
definitely.
referred to a ladder.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
have
Definitely.
both. I have
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Nagalakshmi, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, sir. It was fun talking to you again. Yes.
Thank you.
And now we've come to the last phase of our session to show our gratitude for all the esteemed errands done in making today's webinar a great, complete success. So, yeah, now I request Sivaranjani to give the vote of thanks.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Before that, I request all the faculty members of English department to switch on your camera for photography,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
With the guest.
Yes, with the guest.
Who will say cheese?
It's myself. Okay, just just a snap. Please hold on. Just a minute. Okay.
Please do join us, Mebita. Nightingale is here. Dasman,
Yes, ma'am.
Dasman, Divya. Let us not make him wait so long back. Yeah.
Okay,
And so
ma'am.
you can please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I got Divya ma'am's view.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Okay. Yes, maybe. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Um, just a minute. I'll come back to the meet.
It would have been awesome had all of you turned your videos on so that we could have had until now I was talking to icons. Now there are
Yes, I turned my video here and there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll continue with vote of thanks. Sir, we are really very happy to have you back with this interesting lecture. By listening to your speech, we are sure that our students can break the fear of speaking in English. I thank you for the tips which you gave to perform well in all the LSRW skill tests. And now I will extend my thanks to the principal, Dr. R. Geeta ma'am, Vice Principal, Aided College, Dr. P. Beena ma'am, and Vice Principal, Evening College, Dr. N. Lakshmi ma'am, for their great encouragement. I greatly thank all my dearest faculty members of the Department of English for lending your constant support and motivation. Finally, I thank our beloved students for your happy participation in this webinar and making it into a successful one. Once again, I thank one and all.
And then where is your Sivashankari ma'am? She's my good friend.
Yeah.
I haven't yet seen her on this meeting. Yeah.
Sir Shankari ma'am is there in some personal work.
Okay.
So she couldn't join us today. She was actually telling us, I'm going to miss Dr. Manu's speech as such.
Yeah, I will catch her personally, no problem.
Sir, in future, we entire department, we want to collaborate with you on your projects. You have done so many projects, so we are willing to collaborate with you in future, sir.
That would be awesome. Actually, when I was introduced, I heard that actually I'm not currently pursuing that project. Maybe you found it somewhere, but that project is over. Right now, my project is boring students with my lectures. That is the project that I'm engrossed in. I mean, we all are doing that, right? All of us. It's a collaborative project. Yeah, but definitely I would love to collaborate with, I found so many expert people I just went through your department profile once again, and I could see that the self-financing department is so rich with so many very well qualified and very, there was a lot of standard I could see in the department faculty profile. So it's amazing because it's very rare that a self-financing faculty department has so much great great people, great quality. So that's unbelievable, and I would like to really congratulate you as well, because it's not very often that you find self-financing departments taking such initiatives and doing such things. So it's unbelievable, and everything was done very professionally. It was very good, and Sivaranjani man was very helpful. Everybody just nice, very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I troubled her with a lot of questions, right?
No. No, sir.
Sivaranjani ma'am, have you finished taking?
Yes, ma'am. Completed. I guess we can wind up.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay. Nightingale ma'am says the plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows over the still stream, and now it is buried deep in the next valley glades. Fine. Okay, thank you. Flood is that music.
Thank you, sir.